Alright, so a bit of an update. So, we have been having this thought and in our heads for pretty much the last week or so, and we're actually thinking about changing some things up in terms of TVs and our gaming and just what is the best overall experience to have. So, if you have been a big member on this channel, I'm going to move that thing a little closer, but as I was saying, if you have been a big member of this channel for the last couple or few years or so, we've done basically some good bits of televisions from Hisense, Sony, LG, the list goes on, you name it. We've done reviews and just how, videos of how our experience has been with them after having them for a certain amount of time. Well, we've actually have been thinking that we might actually just go on ahead and completely get rid of our LED TVs, including possibly the ones that we just recently got, like our Sony X90L and our TCL QM8. Those are two that I'm actually still not quite, 100% sure on what we're doing, but we are looking into possibly getting rid of our Sony X90K and as well as our Hisense U8H. Now, these have been really great TVs, straight up. They still look great. They have awesome HDR highlights, even though I kind of don't think the HDR highlights are all that good on the Hisense because it kind of, your brightness gets dimmed. But on the Sony X90K, for an example, the HDR looks fantastic and definitely does bring in some nice, bright, beautiful, colorful highlights. But OLED is definitely the superior, TV out there. I've watched YouTube video reviews out there. I've even seen, people's reviews alone, on a website or something, and telling between, QLED versus OLED, and 90% of comments and answers basically stated OLED. And even some of the YouTube video people that we've watched that did reviews between OLED and QLED, they have said that OLED is definitely the way to go. So, here lately, now, we have been a person that loves to switch our TVs around. We like to switch from an OLED to an LED and then back to an OLED, and the list goes on because, honestly, I just like to switch things up, and I like to see the different, picture elements of what an OLED has to offer and what an LED has to offer, especially when it comes to gaming, because they pretty much have basically pros and cons with both. Brightness is a advantage with a QLED that an OLED doesn't really, handle a whole lot, even though we've gotten some OLEDs like the LG G3, G4, and even the Samsung QD-OLED TVs are definitely having some incredible brightness. But if you go with something like the TV that we have right behind us, which is an LG C1, if you go with a C series, you'll get just about, pretty much okay brightness in that perspective. But not enough of a QD-OLED level, or especially LG's top-of-the-line G-series OLED. The C-series is definitely getting brighter and brighter as each year goes on, and the C3 is definitely still a decently bright TV, especially for this room, which we only have two windows in this room. There's that one right there, and then we have one here, but we got curtains blocked up, so really, it just looks punchy and really bright in this room, especially in the dark. But if you're wondering what TVs we're thinking about getting, well, if you look back at one of our previous videos that we did about 2 months ago, talking about the Samsung S90D and as well as the LG C4, well, that's what we might actually get later on when there is some huge discount prices going on. We're talking about, we're not going to get these if we do decide to do it. These are not going to be getting purchased until Black Friday or early tax time of the start of 2025. So even if we decide to do these, which our gut is telling us that it's the smartest thing to do, we're probably going to, but for the most part, for right now, it's not going to happen for quite some time. But that's what we're actually thinking about doing, is getting rid of our LED TVs, including two that we really don't want to get rid of, like our Sony X90L and our TCL QM8. And then after we get these two OLEDs, then we're going to have a total of 6. We'll have a total of 6 OLED TVs. And OLEDs do have the chance of burning, and that's kind of like what's, in a way, kind of getting us to want to do this, on top of primarily using OLED as what we're going to be gaming on for quite some time. Like, we have the LG C1 right here, and then we have a QD OLED Samsung that's in our bedroom right there. And they both have their own pros and cons, but they're both incredible for gaming, and they both have nice, rich colors. The QD OLED is definitely superior, like I've always stated, but LG's OLEDs, for especially the C series, they're still quite good no matter what the odds are. Like, I still love the C1 and our brand new C3 that we just got a few months ago. Like, I absolutely still love LG's WOLED panels. They still give nice colors, nice clarity, and they're just still good overall. Now, I know I mumbled there for a second, but they're just still really good overall. And really, Samsung and LG's OLEDs are honestly the best TVs for gaming out there. Like, if you truthfully want the best picture quality possible, the best gaming performance out there, LG or Samsung's OLEDs are definitely the way to go. Now, I am going to say that if you want the best overall best, and you want brightness, then look at Samsung's S90 series, QD OLED series, then that's going to be your best choice. But, like I mentioned, LG C series OLEDs have been getting better over the last couple of years in terms of brightness. Ever since the start of the C2, the C series has been getting brighter and brighter and brighter. Now, I still think our C1 still gets pretty bright, and I have noticed the C3 being brighter after swapping out from our C1 to a C3, and I did notice it is brighter. But the C1, especially in this room, it still gets pretty bright and still looks vibrant no matter what. But this is another thing, too, that I forgot to mention. Even though these TVs are going to be an LG and a Samsung, the Samsung S90D is definitely one of the TVs that we will get if we do decide to do this. That's definitely one. But we're actually a little bit mixed on between the LG C4 and the LG B4, because both TVs were just recently reviewed from ratings.com, and the brightness capabilities between both of those honestly don't even look that much, different in odds. Like, the B4 and the C4 definitely don't look that much different in terms of brightness. And what else makes it a little bit more, confusing, I should say. I was about to say concentration. But a little bit confusing is the fact that most OLEDs always have a center stand. And then if we have our extra TVs laying together, then it's hard with, TVs with extra center stands, because then, we just block. And I know it might sound crazy that we have quite a bit of them, but the B4 definitely does not have a center stand. It's actually the old classic 2-leg. So that would actually help us create more space and whatnot. But then again, if we only have like 6 TVs altogether, like 6 OLEDs, then we won't have that, problem or whatever. But after seeing everybody's, reviews and, comments and such about OLED being the best, right now, this has definitely been a very, strong gut feeling, and just a thought that's been in our heads for, the last, week or so. And we might actually do that. We might get rid of our LED TVs, including the TCL QM8 and the Sony X90L that we just recently got, even though those are absolutely punchy and vibrant. They're not quite as good as an OLED, But the TCL especially is definitely very, very close, and I love the brightness capabilities of that TV. But then again, with OLED being the superior, it's just like, yeah, it's like if you want to stick with OLED, then why even keep it? So, yeah. So this has just been an ongoing thought, and I just wanted to make a video for you guys, and honestly, that's what we're thinking about doing, is we might get rid of all four of our other LED TVs. Well, not one, because we're going to keep one in case of, like, in the future, somebody, like a girl or something, gets with us and moves in the future or whatever, then that's going to be the TV that we're going to give that person. But other than that, that's pretty much what I'm thinking about doing, is getting rid of our LED TVs and then either buying the C4 or the B4, and as well as the Samsung S90D later on down the road, like at the end of the year to the start of 2025, when there's huge price cuts going on for those two, or I should say particularly those three TVs instead of two. But you let us know in the comment section down below if you are somebody that has an OLED, or if you are personally like in love with an OLED. Like, just let us know if you have an OLED TV and how's your experience, and let us know also if this is possibly a smart decision that we might be doing, of possibly getting rid of our LED TVs and getting two other OLEDs. That way we'll have a total of 6 OLEDs. That way if one or two ends up breaking, then we got quite a few extra to spare. So yeah, just let us know in the comment section down below if you have an OLED, if an OLED is what you pick to be your best TV for gaming, or just your best TV overall, or if us doing this is possibly a smart choice to do, getting rid of LED and sticking with OLED altogether. But without further ado, I just wanted to make this video for you guys, minus the couple spots we screwed up. But other than that, that's going to pretty much do it for the video. So this is Tech and Gaming Reviews. Hope you all enjoy it. Rate, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.